Had my coffee, had my walk. We're going to get rocking and rolling this. Heading the post office soon, send these out. Got some stuff to get listed. Today we're going to dive into the Super Nintendo console, guys. We're going to get into the games, how much they're worth, what you can find out in the wild, and how much money you can make off them. This console came out in 1990, guys. Pop her up on the screen here. I'm sure you know what it looks like. The games on this console are worth crazy amounts of money, and if you're trying to collect them, you almost have to buy and resell to collect. Otherwise, you're going to be broke and poor. If you're out and about looking at these games, there's going to be a lot that are worth a ton of money, and even a lot of the regular stuff is still worth a decent amount of money. You want to keep an eye out for it. I'm going to show you a list of BOLOs that I have, and then if you have any others, you can let me know in the comments below, and we'll get right into it. This is going to be a pretty big list, guys, so we're going to get going right now. First one, American Tail 5 Goes West. This game is a BOLO for this console. It's a heavy hitter. As you can see on the screen here, I would expect to get 445, 251. He took a bid on this, which again, bids are no bueno. Don't do that for games like this. Just put a reasonable price that you want and you'll get it. I don't know why people do bids on this. As you can see, he probably left $200 on the table by doing a bid. This game I've never heard of. It's called Artie Lightfoot. I don't even know what the heck it is. Very expensive game. Loose cart $215. There's one that's $359. I don't know why it's so expensive. It's probably one of those games that didn't sell well or they didn't make a bunch. It looks like it's some popular thing. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm curious to see what it actually is. But again, $460 if you got it complete. Next up is Biometal. So this game complete, guys, you can expect to get, $490, $450 in that if it has everything for it and it's super mint. The cart itself is going between 50 and 70, as you can see on your screen here. A lot of these games you will see out. I think the Super Nintendo sold pretty well. You do see a lot of these games out and about, so keep an eye for this one. Everyone's favorite ghost, it's Casper. So this one is a BOLO, and I've known about this one for a long time. It's always been expensive as far as I can remember. $475 complete here. The box is even kind of roachy. It's not that nice. So I would assume you're going to get a little bit more than that. The cart itself, this one's got stickers on it, and that's still $200. Again, keep an eye out on this. I know these ads, they say rare and stuff, but a lot of this stuff is not that rare. It's just one of those things that, it's highly sought after, and if you can find it, it's easy money. A game like this, you'd see it and be like, oh, it's a kid's game, it's not worth that much, and that's where you might find this. I had to let the doggies in and get a soda pop. I'm quite parched. Coffee's gone, of course. Next one we're going to get into is a Chrono Trigger. This is a huge BOLO, guys, and if you see it, you will make a lot of money off it. I can guarantee you that. So as you can see here, this one's boxed with the manual for $925. This one up on the top with the strategy guide is $1,700. Absolute insanity. And you're going to look at some of the prices on this console and you're going to be like, this is stupid. And I agree, it is stupid. I would never pay this for this crap. It's just cardboard and plastic. I don't know why it's so expensive, but it is. If you see Chrono Trigger out and you can get it for, even if you paid $500 for it, you're probably going to double your money. If you see it at a thrift store or something, you better click your heels and you just won the lottery. Next up, we have Contra 3. And as you can see, guys, boxed, you can expect to get $330 for it. And loose cart, $65, $70. Contra's always a game. If I see it out, I just buy it. Whether I'm going to keep it or not, it just depends. Just a huge franchise for Nintendo. Always sells well. This is a game I've never seen. It's called Demon's Crest. It's one of the heavy hitters too, guys. As you can see, this person got 430 boxed, up above 718, and then 197 for cart only. I don't know. I've never really seen this one. I'm sure it's out and about. Again, I'm not a huge Nintendo collector. Tim's more the Nintendo guy. He knows a lot more about this stuff than I do. It's kind of like the Ninja Turtles. He just knows his shit when it comes to it, and that's his bread and butter right there. There's another one that you see all the resellers posting about, and it's Earthbound. And all the big heavy hitter YouTube guys like Chase After the Right Price and Retro Rick, it's always Earthbound. I don't know why this is so expensive. I'm assuming there's some sort of rarity to it. Again, $3,000 boxed. Absolute insanity. Like, this stuff to me should never be worth this, but it is what it is. It's supply and demand. People are obviously buying and paying for it. You see this out and about, you want to grab it. A Shiba Inu, this dog is always allergic to something. I'm telling you, she's always itching. We're changing dog foods and trying some medications, but nothing's worked yet. We're going to try a non-chicken dog food, which is very hard to find apparently. Up is a huge franchise, Harvest Moon. I did not know this game was worth this much, but if you look on the screen here, $1,000 without the registration card, absolute insanity. $466 for the card alone. This is one I'm definitely going to be looking out for because I would have never assumed this one was worth that much. Next up is Lufia and the Fortress of Doom. This game is worth about $80 to $100 loose cart, guys. Box, you'll see $239 here, so that's what I would expect to get. As for the boxes for the NES and Super NES, they are harder to find, so anything that comes in a box, you can expect to make pretty good money on it if the deal is right. Next up, we'll go through a couple Mega Man games here, guys. The first one is Mega Man X2. This one, for a loose cart, you're going to be $175 to $200 in that sort of range. Boxed, I'm going to say you're probably going to be double that no matter what. Again, like I've always said in my other bolos, Mega Man stuff, huge seller on all platforms, it seems to me. Anytime I look it up, it's worth more than I would expect, even though it was a huge seller. Next one up is Mega Man Soccer. As you can see in the box, $471, loose card $100, and then $86 for the manual. So I'm going to assume if it was fully complete like this one in the top, you'd probably add another $100 onto it. So maybe $600 complete on that one. They would make a soccer spin-off on this, but apparently they did. If you hear that squeaking, it's my Shiba Inu. Mega Man 7. This is probably the most expensive one of the group, guys. $718 complete, and this one is pretty roachy looking in my opinion. If I was collecting, I don't think I would want a box that looks like that. But as you can see, card only is worth $500 or more, so any Mega Man stuff, if you see it, get it! Next one I want to point out to you guys is the Power Rangers. There's a couple different games here, and I want to point them out because they vary in price quite a different. Next one I want to point out to you guys is the Power Rangers games. There's two different ones. The one's worth not quite as much as the other one. The regular Power Rangers game is about $25. If you see the one Power Rangers the movie, that one you're going to be 80 plus for the loose cart. And as you can see, this person took a best offer. At $4.99. I'm assuming he probably took $4.50 for it complete. But remember, the one that's the movie, that's the one that's worth more money. Next up is Secret Forevermore. As you can see, the person took $45 on a bid here, and then $86 with the manual, and then in the top we have the full complete set for $143. Not a huge bowl, but still decent money to be made on these guys. You can usually get them for a decent price. Next up is Shadowrun. So manual only down here, $71. Cart only $143. This one sold complete for $215. That seems a little low given the price of the manual and cart and everything by themselves. However, you just never know. Some people price these a little bit lower and want to move them quick, and that's probably what this person did. This is an expensive one. It's called Soul Blazer. As you can see on your screen, $143 for just the cart, guys. $161 just the cart, and then $364 for a complete one with 10 bids. Being that this is on bids, I'm sure it probably would be a lot higher if it was just a buy it now. Not too sure. I'm not going to look it up at the moment. I would assume it's probably, an extra $50 at a minimum, though, so keep an eye out for that one. Next up is Sunset Riders. Now, if you see on your screen here, this person got $115 just on bid. Then this one got $162 card only on bid. So it looks like he did pretty good, honestly, for doing a bid. And then in the top, complete in box, $650. It looks like a really nice copy and nice crisp. So this is probably at the higher end of what you will get for this, but keep an eye out for Sunset Riders. Next up is a classic, Super Bomberman, 50 to 70 loose cart, and then 480 you're going to be maybe a bit more complete in the box. Just depends on the condition of these guys. This one looks like it's pretty nice condition. It says small box. I guess that was a thing back then. There's probably small and larger boxes. This one looks really nice. It's got the plastic with it still, so this is probably in the top end of what you're going to get for this game. Next up is Super Ghouls and Ghosts. This one on the cart, you're going to be looking at around $40. And then, $150 complete. This might be a nice game that you could reasonably add to your collection, buying it on Marketplace or something. Real cool cover. I think this one was in the arcades when I was later on in high school. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I remember this one though. This one's different. It's Super Mario RPG. quite sought after game. Most of the Mario games are in this. Some of them aren't too expensive, but they're still probably going to be $30 and up. This one for the loose cart, you're looking at around 86, and then with the stuff, 255 kind of complete in the box. You know, he took a bid on this. He probably would get more if he didn't. And then 172 for just the manual and cart. Good game to look out for, though. I'm sure it sold quite a bit, and I'm sure you could probably pick it up pretty easy. Around this one out was Super Metroid, another huge Nintendo franchise. As you can see on the screen here, 100 for a loose cart, 185 with manual, and then 617 with, you know, pretty much everything you can get with it. It's one to look out for. All these big Nintendo names on these consoles, especially the older ones, they're no-brainers when you're picking them up. Buy them and then look at the price when you get home, or just add them to your collection if you can get them cheap. You know, if you're an avid collector and you can pick up something like this for $20, it's a no-brainer, man, honestly. That's going to be it for my Super Nintendo list, guys. Again, I skipped over a lot of the Mario stuff and Yoshi and Luigi and all that stuff because you guys know what they're worth. They're everywhere. They're easy to pick up. I like to do stuff that's not so out there for pricing. And this is just stuff you can look out to pick for your collection or make a few bucks on the side. Whatever you want to do, really. Sky's the limit with it, honestly. I'm going to leave it at that. I got to get going. I am now running late. I got to go get my son. I will see you guys in the next one, and have an awesome day.